Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, infamous RV-10 lawsuit against Van's aircraft dismissed. GA aircraft shipments in Billings down almost across the board. And Red Tail legacy comes full circle. Hello, I'm Christopher C. Odom. It's February 24th, 2017, and this is Airborne Unlimited. When the news first came out in 2015 that Van's aircraft was sued for a considerable amount of money and that the law firm pressing the action was being very public about it, many feared the worst. 2 years later, though, the lawsuit against the company has been dismissed. Van's Aircraft reports that, as many of you may know, Van's Aircraft and others were named as defendants in a lawsuit related to a tragic RV-10 accident that occurred near the Oregon coast in May 2014. The NTSB investigated the accident and concluded that the probable cause of the accident was a total loss of engine power due to fuel starvation because of a blocked fuel line that resulted from the pilot's improper maintenance practices and the pilot's subsequent failure to maintain adequate airspeed while attempting a forced landing, which led to the airplane exceeding its critical angle of attack and experiencing an aerodynamic stall. The plaintiff's attorneys in this case initially chose to publicize this suit extensively, along with their claim for very high damages. We know that many of our customers and others in the aviation community have been concerned about the status of the suit for some time. The crew here at Vans would like to let everyone know that this suit was dismissed. Van's own investigation of the accident concurred with the NTSB probable cause report. The complaint against Vans had no merit. The news is pretty much all bad, and some of it really bad. GAMA Chairman and Piper boss Simon Caldecott announced at the GAMA Annual Industry Review press conference that airplane shipments globally fell 3.9% from 2,331 units in 2015 to 2,241 units in 2016. Airplane billings declined 14.1% from $24.1 billion to $20.7 billion. Worldwide rotorcraft shipments fell 16.9% from 1,036 units in 2015 to 861 units in 2016. The rotorcraft billings declined from $4.7 billion in 2015 to $3.6 billion in 2016. Business jet shipments in 2016 were at their lowest number since 2004 at 661 units delivered, compared to 718 units in 2015. Turboprop airplane shipments provided a bright spot, increasing from 557 units in 2015 to 576 units in 2016 for the same reporting companies, a 3.4% increase. Piston airplane shipments declined from 1,056 units in 2015 to 1,004 units in 2016, a reduction of 4.9% for the same reporting companies. Turbine helicopter shipments, based on initial data, declined from 757 units in 2015 to 637 units in 2016. Piston helicopter shipments declined from 279 units in 2015 to 224 units in 2016. Hopefully, this industry has nowhere to go from here but up. After the break, Red Tail legacy comes full circle.
Come experience the best of model aviation at the AMA Expo East in Secaucus, New Jersey. 100 booths, flying demos, make and take activities for kids, and many guest speakers including AMA Ambassador Hoot Gibson. Visit amaexpo.com to get your tickets, and we'll see you February 24th to 26th.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
The Bristol Light Sport aircraft is what you are looking for. The Bristol is wider than a Cirrus, faster than a Skyhawk, offers more storage than a Husky, and comes standard with Garmin avionics. So what are you waiting for? Visit Bristol.com to find out how you can get into a Bristol today.
Welcome back. If you'd like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. Airmen assigned to the 332nd Air Expeditionary Wing take great pride in the heritage created for them by the Tuskegee Airmen. The legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen was born in Montgomery, Alabama, when the Tuskegee Institute's application to conduct civilian pilot training was approved in 1939. More than 75 years later, a red-tailed fighter jet from Montgomery again flies with the 332nd. The lineage of the Tuskegee Airmen has been passed to Alabama Air National Guard's 187th Fighter Wing. An F-16 Fighting Falcon from the unit is currently flying with 134th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron, which is one of the squadrons assigned to the 332nd AEW. Colonel David C. Lyons, the 407th Air Expeditionary Group commander, said, "It is well documented that our World War II bomber pilots would look out their windows and gain confidence from red-tail fighters flying beside them. It has been stated they took comfort in knowing that the chances for survival were higher with a red-tail escort than from any outfit in 12th and 15th Air Force. Now we have one of those red tails on our flight line once again, flying with the 332nd and creating the next chapter of red tail history. The mission of the unit is to support Operation Inherent Resolve in the fight against Islamic State of Iraq and Syria." It's Friday, and that means it's time for A&N CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell to check in with his weekly Barnstorming commentary. After having to report on a number of needless TFR transgressions in the past few weeks, Jim thinks it's time to quit making GA look stupid. Here's this week's Barnstorming.
Thanks, Chris, and hi, folks. Well, last week was not a watershed event for aviation. NORAD and other aspects of the military got fairly busy keeping GA birds out of the way of areas covered by various TFRs. Now, let's say something at the outset here. TFRs are a mess. They're poorly implemented. They're implemented way too often for a lot of ridiculous political reasons that really don't require the level of scrutiny that these things are given. The problem is, though, is no matter how bad TFRs may be implemented, no matter how unworkable the system is, we still have to live with it. And every time there's a TFR bust, it's one of those nasty little GA airplanes that would otherwise be out trying to ram grandma's airline is now apparently affecting the president or various elected officials or VIPs. Oh, come on, guys. There's no question the system doesn't work well. But the fact of the matter is, with WingX and 4Flight and a number of other apps that are available on any Android or iPhone, there's no reason in the world not to know about a TFR. And especially if you happen to be in the area of Mar-a-Lago, Florida, where Trump's got his weekend residence or winter residence, or whatever you want to call it, it just makes sense in those areas to be careful. The folks who lived up near Camp David, obviously, they know to keep an eye out for places like that. Anybody in Washington, exercise a little common sense. The TFR busts, no matter how excusable they may or may not be, make us look horrible, provide the media tremendous fodder to make us all look bad, and feed the anti-aviation frenzy that's been a part of the Washington scene for the last 8 years and hopefully will be at least toned down a bit, if not otherwise eliminated. Unless President Trump really does push through ATC privatization, then we'll see. But the fact of the matter is simply this. TFRs suck. They're a fact of life. We've got to deal with them. Don't bust them. If you don't bust them, we don't look stupid. We don't like looking stupid. Any problem with that? For the Aero-News Network, Airborne, and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell, a little frustrated and watching my apps to make sure that no matter what, I'm not busting nothing.
After these messages, this year's Denton Airshow has been canceled.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing a few of those other great stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. The Denton, Texas Airshow has been canceled for 2017, but organizers hope it will return. There were reportedly several reasons to cancel the show, including outstanding bills from 2016 and road construction that is making it difficult to get to Denton Enterprise Airport. The QF-16 drone took its first flight at Holloman Air Force Base February 10, 2017. The manned sortie was the first for the QF-16 at Holloman Air Force Base since the retirement of the QF-4 Phantom in 2016. The QF-16 can fly in manned or unmanned configurations. The Department of Commerce has awarded a $1.5 million AIP grant to Treasure Coast International Airport in Fort Pierce, Florida, for the construction of a new 30,000 square foot maintenance hangar. The federal monies will be combined with a $2.5 million state grant to pay for the project, which expected to cost about $5 million. The national #FlySafe campaign aims to educate GA pilots on the best practices to calculate and predict aircraft performance and to operate within established aircraft limitations. The FAA and industry are working together to prevent the loss of control accidents and save lives. You can help make a difference by joining our #FlySafe campaign, said FAA Administrator Michael Huerta. NASA's Juno mission to Jupiter, which has been in orbit around the gas giant since July 4th, 2016, will remain in its current 53-day orbit for the remainder of the mission. This will allow Juno to accomplish its science goals while avoiding the risk of previously planned engine firing that would have reduced the spacecraft's orbital period to 14 days. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's get back to the rest of the news. It's getting to the point that it almost looks easy. After its launch from historic Launch Complex 39A at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, the Falcon 9 booster that sent a supply vessel on its way to the ISS landed safely back on dry land at SpaceX's Landing Zone 1, and a drone captured some pretty cool footage of the landing. The camera-equipped drone captured the footage. The booster can be seen falling through some low scattered clouds toward the bullseye target, and then a plume of flame slows the rocket to a gentle landing at the center of the pad. SpaceX founder Elon Musk posted a close-up version of the landing to Instagram. The first flight of a previously flown booster is still planned for March. According to SpaceX President Gwynne Shotwell, who spoke at the launch site prior to liftoff, "We should fly a flight-proven booster this March here for the SES-10 mission. Out of this pad, very exciting." Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited stream daily, Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest in aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Keep flying. We'll see you Monday.